Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're stepping into the role of your senior architect mentor to tackle a highly specific, absolutely crucial syllabus objective. We are going to thoroughly explore NCP-MCI 7.5, specifically Section 16.3, NCC errors and running NCC. We're going to take this at a steady, unhurried pace because, look, as an infrastructure admin, this isn't just about passing a certification test with a baseline of AOS 7.5 and AHV 11.0. It's really about keeping your production clusters alive, healthy, and highly available. So, let's get into it. Here's our quick roadmap for today. We'll cover why NCC matters, how to run the checks, interpreting the results in examples, spotting exam traps, and finally, nailing down the key facts you need to memorize.
Okay, Section 1. Why NCC matters.
To set the stage here, you literally cannot manage a Nutanix environment without this foundational tool. At its core, the Nutanix Cluster Check, or NCC for short, is a comprehensive framework of diagnostic scripts. Think of it as the ultimate gatekeeper for your cluster's health. The main thing you need to remember here is that you can run NCC as long as individual nodes are up and running, entirely regardless of the overall cluster state. These scripts basically reach out across your distributed system, running standard commands to pull back vital health metrics.
And this really highlights why it matters so much. NCC is fundamentally tied to cluster safety. You absolutely must clear any failed checks before performing major maintenance. Say you're planning Lifecycle Manager or LCM upgrades, or you just need to gracefully shut down a node. Well, you have to run NCC first. If you ignore this and try to push forward with unresolved errors, you're risking severe cluster instability and potentially even data loss. And trust me, that is a fast track to becoming the least popular person in the IT department. It is your ultimate safety net.
Moving right along to Section 2, running NCC checks.
Now that we understand the why, we need to look at exactly how we kick off these critical health checks in a live production environment. You have two primary execution methods you need to know inside and out for the exam. You can run NCC visually through the Prism Element or PE Health Dashboard in the Web Console GUI, or you can do it manually via the Controller VM, the CVM command line interface. Both are perfectly valid, but they do operate just a bit differently in practice.
Let's break down the CLI method first. It is incredibly straightforward, but highly testable. You simply establish a secure shell and SSH session into any CVM in your cluster. Literally, any of them will work. From there, you just execute this exact command syntax: NCC health checks run all. It's that easy. The system will chew through the scripts, and once it's done, you just review the complete output in your terminal to verify all services are healthy.
Alternatively, if you're more of a visual person, you can just log into the Prism Element Web Console. From the main menu drop-down on the left side, navigate straight to the Health Dashboard. Then, look for the Actions drop-down menu and select Run NC Checks. Honestly, the GUI is fantastic for day-to-day administration because it lets you easily select all checks or just pinpoint specific ones that might have failed or thrown a warning earlier, right before you click Run.
All right, Section 3, NCC results and examples.
So, knowing how to run the tool is only half the battle, right? Interpreting the results is where your admin skills really come into play. NCC is going to return one of 5 specific statuses. Pass means everything's golden. Info provides informational context, but no action is needed on your part. Warn means there's a potential issue you should keep a close eye on, but those last two, those are your absolute focus. Fail means a critical issue was detected and you must resolve it immediately. ER means the NCC script itself actually failed to execute properly. You have to resolve any fail or ER status before even thinking about proceeding with cluster maintenance. Let's anchor this abstract concept with a concrete example you might actually see on the exam, straight from the Nutanix documentation. We're going to look closely at the host_NIC_error check.
The crucial thing to know about the host_NIC error check is that it's a hardware-related check, and it runs every hour by default. It's actively hunting for RxCRC, or Receive Cyclic Redundancy Check errors. Just as a quick refresher, RxCRC errors mean corrupted packets are hitting the network interface. If those errors reach a threshold of just 1% or more over the last 3,600 seconds, which is exactly 1 hour, it triggers a hard fail status. Why does this matter? Well, if you leave it unresolved, your cluster performance will tank as it chokes on corrupted data. And if multiple nodes hit this condition, your cluster will literally stop being able to service I/O requests. It is a massive hardware failure.
Now, let's contrast that severe hardware failure check with a standard system check. For our second example, let's look at the EC enablement check.
Unlike our previous example, the EC enablement check is a system check that isn't even scheduled to run on a standard interval. Plus, it is uniquely designed to only ever return a pass or an info status. It's just there to give you informational context about system configurations, specifically regarding erasure coding in your storage containers. It will never generate an alert. Because it can only ever return pass or info, it's never going to block an LCM upgrade. It's purely contextual.
Moving into Section 4, exam traps and edge cases. Pay close attention here, because we are walking straight into prime test writer trap territory.
Okay, here's a scenario you will almost certainly see tested. Imagine you're working in the GUI, in the Prism Element web console. Is it possible to initiate your NCC health checks and collect the cluster logs at the exact same time? The answer is a definitive hard no. The Web Console Guide explicitly notes, in the Prism Element web console, you cannot run NCC checks and collect the logs at the same time. You have to serialize those tasks if you're using the GUI. So do not let a multiple choice question trick you on that very explicit limitation.
Another edge case to watch out for is all about versioning. The documentation requires you to verify the installed NCC version across your nodes. And if a recent version is available, you must upgrade the NCC framework itself to the most recent version before you even run the diagnostic checks. If your NCC versions are inconsistent across CVMs, some checks just flat out won't execute. Always upgrade NCC first, then run the checks to validate your cluster.
Also, keep in mind that the Lifecycle Manager framework relies heavily on NCC. LCM automatically runs its own pre-upgrade checks, specifically known as test_NCC checks, to ensure cluster stability before it applies any firmware or software. If you have a pre-existing fail or ERR status that you just ignored, it will create a hard stop for your LCM operations. And here's a major pro tip directly from the administrative guides. If an LCM upgrade stalls out because of this, do not attempt to force it. Just don't. Contact Nutanix support to prevent cluster unavailability.
And finally, Section 5, Key Facts to Memorize. Let's see how all of this comes together into a final review checklist. You need to memorize these 4 golden rules. Number 1, you must always resolve fail and ERR statuses prior to LCM upgrades or shutting down a node. Number 2, always upgrade your NCC version before running the diagnostic suite so you're equipped with the latest hardware and software checks. Number 3, know that exact CLI syntax by heart. SS8 into a CVM and type NCC health checks run all. And number 4, remember that strict GUI limitation. The Prism Element web console will never let you run checks and collect logs at the same time. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a thought to consider for your own daily operations. If NCC truly is the ultimate gatekeeper for your cluster's safety, what critical firmware updates or maintenance processes might be silently blocked right now in your own environment, all because of a hidden fail status you just haven't checked for yet? It's worth thinking about. Go run your checks, clear those errors, and good luck on your exam.